and become someone great and someone imperative to helping someone else become that also. And today I would like to, with no further ado, I would like to introduce a good friend of mine, an associate, Adante Pointer.
Hey, what's up, good brother? How you doing, love?
Hi,
All right, thank you for having me, brother.
happy to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
So I would like to start off by asking you, what inspired you to engage in civil rights work, particularly when we think of the challenging times we are experiencing now, where it's so difficult, frankly, to do this work where the climate can be very divisive.
Well, I think what I need is why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What brought me to this point? Well, frankly, it started, I grew up in West Oakland. Grew up and knew the police to, be doing wrong in the community. And so I grew up with that. Like my mom, supported and was a part of the Panthers. And so that's in everybody's spirit, even if you don't recognize it as that, that sense of rebellion, that want to stand up for the community. And so, growing up there, but getting educated or going to school up in the hills, I always wondered, well, how is it that my community, we barely getting along, and I can take a 20, 30-minute bus ride to the other side of the lake, go up in the hills, and it looked like Beverly Hills, it looked like, silver spoons.
Right.
And we don't even have a spoon. So that's how it started. That's how it started.
Where you from?
I'm from West Oakland.
What part of West Oakland?
And dog
Well,
right there, yeah, it's a few blocks from that.
I was saying I grew up on 30th and Martin Luther King.
Okay,
Ghost
look.
Town.
Hey, cousin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. It's always good to hear of those. Really, to me, I call it a horror story turned into a success story because there's so many horror stories that come from where we come from. And everybody isn't able to make that change, or not even the change. It's not even, a lot of people is not able to say, you know what though, I'm gonna make that choice.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah.
Let's use that word. That choice. So my question is this: when you saw the kids outside and they were doing what they were doing, how hard was it for you not to navigate into going there?
Well, choices either though, which is why when I was doing criminal defense or even now doing civil rights, like when I deal with my clients or I'm talking to somebody, they're not even my client, somebody calls me with a question, I don't look down my nose because I just didn't pay the full price for all the decisions I made. Most of the stuff that the youngsters are running around doing, I had a hand in doing it too.
Right.
It just, I didn't have to pay the full price.
Right.
And because of that, I was allowed to grow and mature and start seeing things a little bit different. And then when I had my daughter, at 18 years old, and I became an active dad in her life, I didn't have one in mind. And I was like, man, I want to do something different. Now, it took years to leave all the other stuff alone. Because, in high school, I was running around doing it all. And even when I first started college, in fact, I was going to San Francisco State, and I was coming back to the block. And I was like, man, if I don't leave Oakland, I'm never going to change. Like, I'm going to be right here doing everything else, even though I'm going to school and trying to learn and further myself because of my daughter. But yeah, I'm coming back and doing the exact same thing. So, it wasn't like I had some magic potion. It wasn't like one day I just woke up and I felt like I was going to do the right thing, and I just went straight lace and just cut it all down. It was just, it took time,
I'm trying to get my children to understand, and my cohorts and everybody around me, it is about choice.
Mm-hmm.
It is about choices. The choices you make and where you end up at. You know what I'm saying? And I did forget to say that he is a well-known civil attorney.
Yes, sir.
From Oakland, California.
Yes, sir.
Which was once a criminal attorney.
Absolutely. I've been practicing law going on 16, going on 17 years.
Right.
So out of the West, went to San Diego State first, transferred to UC Berkeley. And mind you, I wasn't a person that during school, I got good grades. I barely just got enough grades so I could play ball. you know. And so, but I took just on the flu. I just filled out a couple of college apps, and I got accepted. So I didn't have the grades. It wasn't like I knew I was like this raw athlete that was going to go on a scholarship, or somebody who was getting 4.0s, or even somebody that wasn't even getting in trouble. You know, my senior year of high school, you know, I've been in, you said Fab ain't never been in the backseat of something. I've been in the backseat of plenty.
Share that
You know what I
story.
mean? And
Share that one story when using your new Mercedes.
well, you know, I can laugh about it now, but right on this street we on right here, International, when I grew up, we call it E14. I was down San Leandro the day after Christmas, about 3-4 years ago, in my S550 Benz, you know, the nice Benz,
Right.
minding my business by myself. And I was going to the grocery store. I was trying to figure out if I was going to go to the grocery store or go somewhere else and pick up some food. I was tired of eating leftovers.
Right.
I couldn't be sat there ate all day. It's night, like about this time of night, 7, 8 o'clock at night. It's dark this time of the year. And so I'm just driving around my business. And next thing I know, I see red lights on the inside of the car. Now I look up in my rear view, and it spooked me. It surprised me because in my mind, as a black man growing up out here, I drive very aware of all of my surroundings.
Right.
The police can't just sneak up on me as anyone else could. I drive in my rear view. And so I was surprised they're on me, and they had the lights going, but no sirens. So I thought they were going to go around me. So I just pulled my car to the curb just a little bit so they could go around me. That's what I think was going to happen. To my surprise, they just pulled closer on my bumper. And when I looked in my rear view, I had turned off my car. I hadn't even put it in park because I just thought they were going to go around me. To my surprise, 2 seconds later, cops hopped out, doors open. Get out the car right now. Get out the car right now. And I could see in the rear view side mirror that they had the guns out. They was in a position. And I'm like, as everybody, like, what did I do?
Right.
You know, I just was driving the box, trying to figure out what I was going to eat. You know, I'm by myself. I didn't do that. What's this about?
Right.
And as soon as I saw the cop on the left side, on the driver's side with his gun out, 2 seconds later, cops from the right side, on the passenger side, are yelling, don't you move, put your hands up. So right there, I'm caught in a position. And mind you, I read and look at these videos every day as a part of the work that I do.
Right.
Many of the cases people know about, the Oscar grants, which happened right here at Fruit Villages, you know, a few blocks from here. You know, that was the case that I worked on. You know, Mario Woods, the case that caused Colin Kaepernick to kneel in the NFL. That was the case that I litigated. You know, and many other brothers and sisters, Mario Hogg at the lake, and a whole bunch of different people whose names you never heard of. You know, those are the cases that I see every day. You know, where police gun people down. So, not to belabor the story, but I'm sitting here like, okay, do I get out the car because this cop on the driver's side is yelling, "Get out the car right now," or he's gonna shoot me.
Right.
And he's already in the stands, ready to make it happen.
How close was he? The gun to you?
Oh man, at that point he was about a car length behind me, you know, half a car length. He's standing behind his door, but I could see him and a gun out. These other cops on the passenger side, they're right at the back door. So they screaming. I'm like, do I get out? Because if I get out and move, I'm getting shot by these people.
Right.
But if I don't get out, he's shooting me.
Right.
You know? So I had to negotiate my way out the car or whatever. They made me crawl on the ground and knee in the back, and they searched my car. And what made me almost lose it was that even though they had me in the back in cuffs in the back of the police car, they kept yelling at the car, talking about, "Get out the car, passenger, get out the car." Now, mind you, I'm by myself. My car didn't even have any tents, but I had my 2 sons' car seats in the car.
Wow.
You know, so I'm thinking to myself, it was at the house tucked in. What if I had just taken in with Daddy to just make this little run that I thought was just going to be to the store and back? And they would have been moving their head, trying to see what happened to Daddy. And the cops would have let off in the car thinking somebody was doing something. And that was when I almost lost it, though, because I seen that in my, you know, like you see like a movie.
Right.
How that was going to happen. And so, long story short of it, you know, after sitting there and they ran through my car and everything, found that, asking me who it was and who am I. I'm like, man, you know my name is Adante Pointer. What are you talking about? I've sued you guys 20, 30, 40 times. I'd have taken 20, 30 million out the police budget, you know, on behalf of the community.
What they say when you said that?
Oh, man, they got hot. So they walked away. I told them to call the sergeant. Sergeant came, and they talking about, they got me out the car, because I'm sure he understood the mistake they had made with who they were dealing with.
Right.
They got me out the car. And so they're like, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry, you know, my guys, man, you know, they were really, you know," and I was like, "Aggressive?"
Right.
You know? And he's like, "Well, you know, they had a call about a guy in a silver car brandishing an AK-47.
Right.
Now, mind you, this was OPD. I'm not even in Oakland, I'm in San Leandro.
Right.
So I turned to him like, brandishing a gun out of a silver car? Like, what? And then he seen my face and how I was getting ready to get started with the questions. And he goes, "Well, I mean, you know, what do you expect him to do? A guy he did drive-by
Now
in a
you
silver
talking
car.
about
Now it's
Them
a
real
drive-by.
babies, though.
shit. Now it's the drive.
So out of Mercedes, I'm like, I grew up out here. Now I know it's going down in the town,
Right.
but I've never heard of a suspected S550
At all.
in a drive-by with an AK-47.
Well, unless you talking about the EDD thing, like
Right.
they was riding around with all types of designer guns and cars.
Right.
Hey, but that is crazy because I actually heard that story yesterday, just doing some research on further than things that I already know. You know what I'm saying? I said, wow, it'd be crazy how us as the melanated being, we continue to have the same experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, when I met you, I had a cold experience where I could have lost my life. They claimed that they got a gun up off of me. You know what I'm saying? I went and fought for 18 months, and basically nobody believed me.
Yeah.
Like I had to make you a believer. You feel me?
Yeah.
And we fought all the way until they cashed us out.
No doubt. Well, that's the thing. You made them kick it out their pocket. It's funny because when we met, you had already gone a lot of the legal journey on your own.
Right.
I mean, because you had to beat the criminal case first.
Right.
And if I remember correctly,
I represented myself.
Yeah, you represented yourself.
Right.
And then we made the district attorneys who were fighting the criminal case against you, come to civil court.
Right.
We had to subpoena them to court and put them on the stand. And then they tried to cap it off saying, well, we decided to let the case go. But we had the paperwork and showed they decided after you filed a motion and was ready to take it all the way there on.
Yeah, straight up.
Straight all the way to trial. Then they let it go.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the viewers what's the difference between civil and criminal?
Yeah, sure. Well, criminal is essentially you're talking about somebody's freedom. Okay, so that's only can be done through the prosecutor, the district attorney's office. The only people who can bring a criminal case. Whereas a civil case, it's kind of where the rabbit gets the gun, so to speak. So where I can't bring a criminal case against the police for all the things they've done or anyone else that they may have harmed or someone else who's black on black, whatever, African on African, whatever, right? But as a civil attorney, if somebody does something, I can bring a lawsuit against you. And so what I've specialized in is bringing federal civil rights lawsuits against officers that violate the law and violate the community trust.
What made you choose civil?
You know what, man? Honestly, I grew up out here and I was just like, I grew up with a PhD in poverty. And none of the people I knew that was in my circle that was hitting licks or doing anything, they had a couple dollars, but they didn't have enough to pay for that $150,000 law degree.
Right.
So I was looking for a way to take care of my family, take care of my kids, and take care of my community. And so I couldn't even get a job because I was applying. I went through law school and everything. And when I came out trying to get a job, none of the white firms were hiring me. The only person that gave me an opportunity was John Burris. Right. So I came in there as an unpaid intern, answering the phone, pouring water for clients, and that kind of thing. Passed the bar while I was there after a year and a half, and took the cases nobody else in the office would take. But we specialize in in making something out of nothing. And so I took those cases and that's how I honed my craft.
Okay, so I want to go piggyback on when you said you went to college and being that you start off saying that you grew up poor, right? And you was out. How did you pay for school?
Well, so as I mentioned, I have my daughter at 18. Essentially, I knew my daughter was on the way my senior year of high school, and so I started working my second semester of high school. And I found me a little job over here in Berkeley, working at a printing press. So I was printing books that people would read, literally printing the books and all stuff, grown man job. And I didn't even go to really more than 2 classes a whole week for high school. So I stacked my money, and when I got an opportunity to go out, and they told me like at the end of the summer that I could go to college, I went out there and I was moving, kind of doing my thing. So I took a couple of that money with the money I had made from the job, and I went down
hustle money and the work money.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I thought that was something. I mean, that was $500. I thought I was.
But that's big though, because that lets young people know that the people that's in the streets hustling, that if they have a small little dream of getting out, that they don't have to do 100% hustle. They can do both.
You sure can.
And get out of it.
You sure can. Most of the people I meet, like through the course when I was doing criminal offenses, people I know, like they smarter than me. They got more game, more mouthpiece. But what did you apply it to?
Right.
Whatever you spend your time doing, you're gonna get good at. Most likely. Mm-hmm. So if you spend your time doing bad stuff or you figuring out how to bust a move, you're gonna be good at that. But once I got to college, I started realizing when I got in classes with people who I thought were way smarter than me because I never had those grades, I read the book. When I read the book and just went and talked to the professor, I realized, man, I'm smarter than these people.
Right.
And then once I got to school, like you said, how did I pay for it? When I first got there, I didn't know how the financial aid game worked or whatever. I knew I applied. I knew they said I got it. I thought first day you show up, they give you a check. They were like, oh no, this is your first time getting financial aid. You got to wait 60 days or something before you get your first check. So here I'm at, far away from home in San Diego, no money, didn't know nobody. And so, man, I was eating out the 7-Eleven, and you can understand what that means.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make it happen because I had the game from the town.
Right.
So I knew how to survive and I knew how to move. And I got my first job like that semester was like out there and I had money. I became a janitor at the school. Okay. So I was meeting all the fine ladies and the chicks from LA and from all over the country, you know, cleaning out the women's bathroom on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So it's driven.
Yeah, I was driven. I was hungry, but I was hungry. I mean, you know, I had a kid on the way. I had no money. I mean, I had to make it happen. So, you know, that's how it kind of went. But the first time I ever got a scholarship, you know, I got like a $500 check because I did good in the class, and I just filled out a little one-page scholarship form and had a $500 check attached. I said, wait, you mean I could read these books and get paid?
Right.
I could clean these trash cans for a month and get $500, or even I could read a book in my dorm room, chill with my partners, and get some bread. Oh, this is it. It turned me out. I never looked back after that. I mean, I went from barely getting passing grades in high school to by the time I left, because I wound up transferring from San Diego State to UC Berkeley, I had the top 10 highest GPA in the whole school, 32,000 people at UC Berkeley. And I had never gotten a B average my whole life in any school.
That's absolutely
that's amazing.
An amazing story.
Yeah, right on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm over here saying, wow, like you never know what a person goes through to get where they're at.
Right.
No, you don't know the story.
And 8 million stories, you know, in the naked city. You know anything
Right.
about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but that's absolutely amazing, man. And I champion you for continuing to speak out and to keep continuing to help, you know, people, the people of your ilk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you got going on now? Aside from you being a civil attorney, but just I hear you speak on different causes.
Yeah.
What other causes are you attacking today?
Well, you know, man, I feel like there's so many different issues in the Black community, and I'm all for us, you know.
Right.
And so, you know, I try to insert either my knowledge, my leadership, or just my support of other people, because to be a good leader, you got to be a good follower.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I see people such as yourself, such as y'all, this opportunity, this platform, you put people on, you bringing knowledge to people. So, you know, it's, to me, I lend my hand is where I see it's needed. But some of the things obviously is the police brutality stuff. But I'm also really want to get into developing the youth, though, because I feel like you get to people at an earlier stage where they still believe, they still have hope.
Right. Because
the world will stomp it out of you, though. You know, as soon as you leave your door, everybody's telling you no, you can't do it,
right.
You're not worthy or whatever. So, you know, I've always been into that, talking to community groups, doing the motivational speaking. You know, that's something real big that I definitely want to continue doing, and just developing, you know, Black economics, honestly. I mean, man, you know, it's civil rights, but then there's silver rights. Right. You know what I mean? We need to get our paper though, because I mean, that's
no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, you have anything else to do?
Well, you know, you just answered my second question.
Well, you know what, if I may, you asked me earlier like how I got to this point, so I kind of talked to you about like the big picture, right? Like, man, I was going to school with rich folks and I was poor, and like just seeing the two worlds, like how can this be in the same city? Like that was crazy to me. But really the thing that put the idea of being an attorney in my mind was in first grade, my mom finally let me go over to like one of my classmates' house, right? Like my best friend at the school, his name was Mike, White Mike. Okay. So, you know, I was like the only one of like 3 Black people out of 300 at the whole school, right? So, but Mike was my partner. You know, we played hoop, you know, first graders do, you know. So his mom was there to pick him up every day after school. My mom was at work. I took the bus or whatever. So his mom picked us up, and I had never been in the Piedmont. You know, I just went from the bus stop in front of the school back to the west. I never actually walked in the neighborhoods, and then I was young. So I'll never forget, man, we pulled up at his house, and it looked like the White House. I'm like,
Wow.
you live here? And he like, yeah, we walk in. And so we walk in, had columns and the manicure lawn and all that. I'm like, man, I had never seen that like this. Only on like, TV.
Right.
So I walk in, his mom, first, like, what y'all want for after school snack? He's like, cereal? I'm like, yeah, cool, cereal. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna go, We opened the cabinet and he had like 8 boxes of cereal. I had never seen that in my life. We had one box that we all shared. You better not pour that too long.
Right.
You gotta make that stretch.
Did you have powdered milk?
Man, look, yeah, I had powdered milk, government cheese, all that, Swan's Market, all of that. I've been through all of that. So, free lunch at Poplar Park, shout out Archie Belford, all the OGs. So, man, I asked him, like, I turned to him and said, what does your dad do? I see your mom every day. She don't work. I'm like, what does your dad do? And he was like, my dad's an attorney. And I was like, man, that's what I want to be. I need to
Yes.
So that's what started.
So the cereal is for
an
attorney.
Abundance.
Well, I
choice.
just see you. I saw you in the street a couple times, and you pulling up pretty nice, man.
Oh, wow.
I mean, look how he looks. Look at his outfit.
So you've done well for yourself and your children. I saw you at the marina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the marina with the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, man, that's what we got to be able to say. You know what, man? What was we lacking?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them in my life was my father.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? My mama was both of them.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm there for mine. Like, can't wait to get to them now.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And just being able to share that and to inspire other people though is grand, man. And you continue to be the best that you could be your best version of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you will continue to inspire and teach other people that look like you that it's okay. It's okay to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be vicious. And you got a swag.
That part
You
right
can
there.
have all that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can have all that. So, that being said, we're going to end this interview, man. But I want you guys to keep on watching. Check it out. Go look up Adante Pointer, civil attorney. If you have some issues, I've sent people to him and referred people to him several times that, hey, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And let's make it happen, though. You know what I mean? If you have any questions, you can inbox me, inbox him, and then we'll do our best to help answer your questions, though. You know what I'm saying? Hostile Takeover, we over and we out. Myisha, you got anything to say?
Thank you for coming.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Man.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
No doubt about it. It was grand.
Do you have an IG or anything you want to let the folks know?
Everybody can find me by my name, Adante Pointer, Adante Pointer, Pointer. That's on Facebook. That's on Insta. That's everywhere. I'm everywhere like air, as they say.
You sound like air. All right.
Yes.
Good shit. Good.
Man, that was a quick